Hello YouTube, my name is Plazookas. It's day 2 of the 60-day challenge and video 1 starts right now. Today we're going to be reacting to the I Got Banned video that's on YouTube, where it will most likely trend because, like all the other previous things regarding Twitch bans and stuff like that and these right-wing grifters, they tend to be more successful than their previous band. So let's react to this. Mostly, probably, I haven't watched it at all. Horrible video. I'm just assuming.
Hey guys, yep, if you saw that title, I got banned again. And this one, I was really actually shocked about. Like, I thought, okay, I did a couple of things. Let me clarify that. I'm not shocked I got banned. I'm shocked at what I got banned for. Because what had happened is that I did something that I thought I was going to get banned for. So I apologized for it immediately. But what I actually got banned for, I was shocked.
Yeah. And so if we go back to his Twitter, which in this case, he had posted on his Twitter, which is kind of, pick and choosy. I'm all for getting banned if it happens for telling the chatter to, Minecraft himself, right? He's trying to spin this narrative that he got banned for this on Twitter. Because the real reason why he got banned potentially is because he called somebody or called a group the F word, which he's been trying to do for a very long time. He wanted to make this point that he can say whatever he wants. And here's the reality. I'm not going to get into this too much, so I'm going to let the video speak for itself. But, there are just some things that you shouldn't do. And there are some things that are just illegal that you can do. And ultimately, if you choose to do them, you go to jail. If you choose to say this word, you go and get banned. That's the reality we live in, whether you like it or not. And that's Twitch's policy. That's not Kick's policy or Rumble's policy. That's Twitch's policy.
And I'll
There's a line.
explain this why and why I believe.
I'll explain this why. There's no explanation. You called somebody the F word. Okay? And no matter how much you spin it, it's meant as a derogatory, demeaning term that basically will discredit and potentially, and this is why these terms need to be looked at and continuously respected, because it diminishes and demeans these people for generations. It's like the N-word, during slavery. It's all these connotations that exist.
The hypocrisy of Twitch once again really.
There's no hypocrisy here. You said the F word. It's very clear. You can say a lot of things on Twitch. You can say a lot of things on a lot of these social media platforms. They've been very clear that you cannot say this word. Hassan has not said this word. Obviously, you're going to say that he does all this other stuff, terrorism, blah, 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 blah. You got to prove that. And there's not enough proof that what Hassan is saying. And to be honest, if you look at the Israel-Gaza conflict, currently, it is actually a refreshing thing to have seen someone, although, I do agree, not our best advocate in some cases, pushing back on Israel when most people couldn't, feared doing so because of just the overwhelming ability for anti-Semitism and being labeled anti-Semitic to be used against you.
Knows no bounds. And once again, I want to make it very clear. I think what I did is fine to ban, I suppose.
Okay, then. End of story. Shut the video off and take your ban.
But the problem is that when you don't ban the most egregious offenders who are doing things far worse.
No, it's not far worse, because the policies are very clear that this word is against terms of conditions. Period. So even if, let's say, you have a case for them or other people to be banned because of XYZ, you deserve the ban. Period. There is no caveat. There is no exception. There's no, because I'm being banned and nobody else. It doesn't work that way. The rules apply.
It truly boggles the mind. Now, I've been banned free for another month. This is my monthly ban, and I will be back at 7 days. Maybe they'll allow my appeal. Who knows? Do I care? No, not really. I stream on Twitch for fun. I have all ads turned off.
Oh, he cares. Oh, he cares. Because Twitch is a different community than YouTube. YouTube is a different community than Kick. Kick is a different community than Twitter. There's some alignment, but they're all very different. And Twitch has been where he can talk about gacha. Sponsors want him to talk about gacha through Twitch and really nowhere else in many aspects. His YouTube videos do okay, but he doesn't post a lot of gacha content on YouTube. It's mostly just drama baiting on YouTube. And Kick is not a respectable audience to the extent that they would want to play potentially gacha slop. They just play gambling games, straight up.
I'll be real. I make less off of Twitch than I make off of like literally.
That's only recently, by the way. He's only been making more on YouTube than on Twitch recently.
I make more off YouTube in 2 days than I make off of Twitch in a whole month. I made more off of a 1 hour ad that I did on Twitch that I can just do on YouTube instead than I made on Twitch the whole month. I make nothing off Twitch.
I don't know if that's the case. I think these companies do leverage Twitch in his audience there instead of on YouTube. So I don't know if you'd get that same sponsor.
I do it for fun. I do it for the love of my community on there.
You don't do anything for fun. It's greed.
Really doesn't do me any good other than just I like supporting my community who's been on there. That's all why I've always
It's a lie, in my opinion.
done it. But please subscribe to my YouTube and turn the bell on for all notifications because I'm going to be live on here over the next couple days. I'll probably be taking tomorrow off just because I'm a little bit pissed off as I normally am. And I'm also starting to get a tattoo on my right arm, which I'm very excited about.
Nobody cares
Anyways,
about that.
so I was live on Twitch today, and I was watching an exchange between Destiny and Ethan. And in this clip, a lot of the words that are thrown around between people these days are like pedophile, rapist. Destiny says a lot of crazy ass shit. Destiny, talking about wanting people, taking away Ethan's kids and shit. And I'm like, all right, dude. Okay, we get it. And that's fine. It was probably a joke. Who knows? What isn't a joke according to Destiny? That's completely fine. But anyways, I just started to notice a very uncomfortable direction the internet is going, where back in the day, we would say like, oh, your mom does this, I fucked your mom. Some people would say the N-word at people. I wouldn't say the N-word at people. Other people would. People would say, they would call people fat, and they would call people retards, they would call people gay, and all of these words.
First of all, he muted the word that got him banned on Twitch, on YouTube. He knows. Or maybe YouTube did it automatically now because they're AI scrubbing that they have.
Words that they used to call these people wouldn't be anything that could be legally pursued.
No, it wasn't legally pursued. Okay? However, what it did do during those times that you want to point out about the N-word and about the F slur and all these things was demean these groups to the point of, not being relevant and to be ostracized, to be victimized, to be assaulted, so many connotations. That's why we've tried to correct it. That's why we've tried not to do that to certain groups of individuals, because they are just people that should have the same rights as all of us. And you, of all fucking people who want the right to say all these fucking things, should respect that, and yet you don't. You alpha trans, posing, bitch ass, gunslinging, fucking fake bitch. I only say that to you specifically, and I wouldn't do that for everybody. I make an exception just for you, Tectone, because you are the most hypocritical person I have ever met in my entire life. And you need to be, dealt the same dose of venom that you basically spew on everybody else. Period.
You know what I mean? Like when you call people like a retard, if you call someone a fat, it it's not
He said it twice.
gonna make the FBI.
I'd be really interested to know if YouTube is the one that's muting that, or if he muted that on his end. He did edit this video, so yeah, maybe that's was done on their end.
I need to arrest you, or like need to look into you, like, or even if you call someone the N-word, that doesn't mean the FBI is gonna have to look into you, right?
I mean, it's kind of ironic that you say that, and yet that has happened in the past. And it still happens now when you call somebody, a pedophile. It'll raise red flags. And if there are other, connective tissues, yeah, it could lead to an investigation. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily, but words do have power. They do have consequences, period. And if you say that to somebody that doesn't necessarily invoke the meaning, which in the F slur, there is no fucking reason for the F slur. Period. There is no reason. That's the reason why it's banned. That's the reason why they don't even allow it. That's why all these other words, the R words and all these things, are kind of loosey-goosey now allowed more than they were during the height of the Me Too movement and COVID and all this stuff, right? That's why they've backtracked on that, because they're like, okay, fine, but the F word they've held in the N word, because there's no other implications here. Okay, pedophilia, all this stuff, okay, still exists because it definitely has relevancy and connotations that need to be continued talk about because of how systemic that is and how prevalent it is and how it does apply to people.
The problem now is that people are now only using words and falsely accusing of crimes. Like they're calling people rapists. They're calling people pedophiles. Rape, meaning you are...
Because, and let me give you a history lesson, because those things actually happen. Okay? The F word is not an applicable term for anything. It doesn't have any applications. Yes, obviously, in other languages, European languages, it's used as something else. I get that. I'm not even sure if they've evolved from that. I don't even know if they use it anymore to describe, a cigarette or whatever else. I'm not sure, at that rate. But that's definitely not the American definition from that word, and it never has been, and it never will be. And therefore, there is no correlation between that word and, the P word, or for the R word, or for, any of this stuff.
Someone who has had sex with another person that didn't want that. That is a crime. You go to jail. A pedophile. Someone where they a kid and that's illegal and you go to jail. They call people abusers, which could be considered sexual
I don't know what the hell the issue is here.
harassment or assault or...
Because it applies to you, Tectone, because this really defines your entire online persona with Freem and with Pinkchu. Now that they're allowed to say that to you, and not get banned for doing it, there's a distinction here. There is a difference here between those words and the F word.
Some like type of abuse that you can get jail time for or fined for, or things that police will come to your house and they will investigate you for, right? Like it's becoming a very disgusting rhetoric these days, and it's becoming to where you might have to fight fire with fire when people call you these things. Now, I haven't done that in quite a while. I have said that someone...
Man, he is losing it. He is losing it. Tectone is on the verge of another, and I don't wish this upon anybody having suffered from anxiety. God forbid anybody has to go through it. But I will be honest with you. This is characteristic of someone on the edge of, I won't say sanity because I'm not a health professional, on the edge of something.
Looks like a pedophile. That's because, well, they do. But it's a little bit different than just saying, you are this. You have committed this crime. And so during this stream, my chat was pissing me off. And so I told one of my viewers, as I've stopped doing for 2 months, to kill themselves. It slipped. I'm not going to lie. It rolls off the tongue way too quickly. It does. It's something that rolls off the tongue. It's just something that I've said my whole life. Kill yourself, right? I've been saying it since fucking Xbox days. I've been saying it since League of Legends. Yeah, you can take a dog out of the fight. You can't take the fight out of the dog. It's something that I've...
And this is a really good segue into you and your relationship with Mango. The fact that you have a kennel that's way too small. They use a rope to essentially force your dog into the kennel. Teaching or mistreating your dog will result in the same habitual thing that you're describing here about you really just you don't think about it, right? And so if a dog is abused or mistreated early on, it just becomes part of their personality. So take care of your dog now so they don't turn out to be like you in the future. Someone that just can't help themselves.
Always fucking said. I'm working on it. I'm going to try not to say it. I'm definitely going to say it again. It's just something that just feels so...
And you say it because, again, it is all from a vitriolic standpoint, my friend. You can't have a decent conversation with any of your community, especially ones that disagree with you. And you will literally try to silence them, demean them. And one way to do that is to say that word. It invokes a certain response from your community that they love too.
Good to say, kill yourself. Right? It's not a death threat. It's just like,
It could be. If they're on the verge of suicide, and we, at least I know from my, multitude years of experience that a lot of people that watch content creators are lonely. They're very depressed, and probably some are suicidal. And you saying that to somebody, not that that would, implicate you in a murder or anything like that. I'm not suggesting that, but at the same time, could result in them doing that. So why even do that? Ban them, move on with your life. No, you want to highlight them. You want them to be a symbol for everybody else to shut the fuck up, get in line, and watch my content. Otherwise, you're unemployed. Otherwise, you're a degenerate. Otherwise, you're an F word. Otherwise, you need to Minecraft yourself. Blah, 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 blah. You can't have, a good opinion. No. Obviously not. Because these communities, these corporations that are Tectone, do not allow for any other thing besides what the platform is spewing. It's a one-way street, baby. And it's enforced thoroughly in a lot of cases for a lot of content creators, and especially with Tectones. He wants free speech for himself, but not for everybody else.
Come on, dude, fuck off. right? That's all kill yourself. He's like, fuck off, dude. You're being retarded. That's all it means. But I didn't get banned for the kill yourself. And I also apologize.
Okay, so he didn't. So this is so misleading. This thing is so misleading. And he won't post the real reason why he got banned because he knows that his Twitter community is worse than any other community that he's in, and it would just look even worse for him specifically. And so he'll just play this off as this is the reason why he got banned. Yeah, just totally disingenuous, again, misleading, and trying to manipulate the situation.
Immediately I was like, hey man, I shouldn't have said that, shouldn't have said that. Well, I didn't get banned for that. What I got banned for was for merely saying the word fat. That's it. I didn't call anyone that. I didn't direct that towards anybody. All I said was, I would rather be called a fat than these people on the internet.
Keeps on saying it. Keeps on saying it. Keeps on saying it. Keeps on saying it.
Who just sling around false accusations and false allegations.
I will challenge Tectone this. If you say the word, if you say the F word, why not say the N word? In all of its, pronunciations. Why not? Why not just go all in for both terms? Why hold back at all? If this is now your new hill to stand on, just do it, man. What are you scared of? Just do it. I would respect you more if you just came out and used that word in this video as well. Instead of just continuously double down. And I will be honest with you, people that use that word, the F word, might have a little bit of disdain for that specific group of people because they themselves may identify or have a curiosity or have some trauma that has alluded to that potentially. And they're upset with themselves and they want to convey that. Maybe, possibly. Which is why racists use the word and which uses the N-word. Basically the same kind of thing.
For fun. It's incredibly unsettling. It doesn't feel good. I mean, as a guy who, and the reason why I said this was that I was a guy who just got swatted because some guy.
Oh my God. Remember that video that I made about him being swatted and that he's going to basically play the victim again and again and again and again and again and again and again?
Guy or some girl called the police and said that I was raping women in my house and I had 8 hostages upstairs. And so I experienced my first swatting that put my friends, my life, and my animal's life in danger. And so I'm just becoming incredibly irritated and annoyed how a platform.
Well, that is a criminal offense. So I don't know what kind of, example you're making, but the person who did that and lied about it, unless they didn't lie about it, is and should be charged in the court of law. It's technically illegal. Now, if they literally thought that something was happening, there may be ways for them to get away with it, so to speak, because their intention wasn't to inflict harm, and they actually did think that what they were calling for was a legitimate reason. Then that's but there should be at least a court case regarding that, which is against the law.
That banned me for merely saying the word fat.
Because it is one of those words, the N word, the F word. I keep on saying this. The fact that, and I don't think you're that dumb. I think you know. And that's why I don't respect you, because you should say the other word too. Say both of them.
Did not ban people who called me a rapist and a pedophile.
Because you have literally talked to almost every content creator out there that is lolly adjacent. You have accusations against you. This is the difference. Okay? These are very specific to you, Tectone. You can essentially rectify this if you were, or if you had, countersued, sued Pink Chew, released some stuff, information, more evidence and stuff like that regarding that situation. And then alternatively, not associated yourself with some of the biggest lolly people in the world, with Nox Taku, Destiny, Dan from Destiny's Orbit. All these people have all had allegations or have some lolly adjacent stuff attached to them. Some ordinary gamer. So that's why you're being, associated with that. When you use the F word, it's not specific. It is literally targeted at a certain group of people that does not deserve that connotation. That's why the N word is targeted at that certain people that does not deserve that connotation, because as a group, they don't deserve that. Individually, and it's not my place to say that, could that apply? Based on its most, based on the, obviously there are certain demographics that use that word, not the F word, but the N word more specifically. And it's like, whatever, it's not meant to be derogatory in essence. The F word is different. Has it been used before? And maybe has it applied in the most nicest sense? Possibly, but not really. Again, which is why these terms are just unequivocally banned. There really isn't any debate here. Okay? It's the same debate about age of consent. Is 18 perfect? No, but it's the established age that, most people have agreed upon, to where, with hormones and, with everything else that is going to happen with them after they turn the age of 18 and what they are allowed to do, in the fact that they can basically be independent of their parents and go to college and all this stuff. It's no longer looked at, as someone that's younger, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, all this stuff. And there's obviously different classifications the younger you get in terms of severity, although you should classify it all. And 18 is still too young in many aspects. Again, like 25 is probably the right age, but that is not something that is feasible, right? And so these are what are established norms. The F word and the N word are banned in the same way. It's not very difficult.
People who called Asman a mother killer, a murderer, a pedophile. People who called Nux Taku a pedophile. Like, I feel like I'm going crazy here.
You're not going crazy. You're not going crazy. Should anybody be called that? Maybe not. Maybe you have a valid issue here, but you being able to say the F word? No. Sorry. That's like you saying that it's okay to have sex with a minor. It's basically the same comparison. No.
So you're telling me I can't even say a word, which, by the way, I have gone on record multiple times telling people to not call anyone a faggot because you think they're bad because they're gay. I have literally said you can call your homie a faggot because he's being retarded, but never put someone down just because they're gay. That's insane. I hate to sound like too political, like a politician. I fucking love gay people. I think they're hilarious. When I was a kid, I used to wish I was gay because life's easier. Then I don't have to deal with women. If I didn't have to deal with women, my life would be way easier right now. Knowers know. Like imagine just being able to fuck a dude. You know what I mean? You play video games with your homie, you're playing Smash Bros, you're playing League of Legends, and you and your best friend are just jerking each other off. Like, that sounds awesome. But I'm not gay, you know, so it'll never work out. I mean, I've even kissed, not made out, I have gently kissed another man, my best friend, on a dare because 8 women begged me to do it, and then I f***ed one of them after. So it's not gay, it cancels each other out. I tried being gay, it didn't work. It didn't work. But man, my life would be so easy right now. Gee, oh my God, bro, I wish I was gay. Holy fuck.
First of all, if you're going to have relationships with men, it's no different than with women. Okay? In both cases, it requires a constant responsibility to your significant other. So whatever the pitfalls you're suggesting does not exist with men is clearly an indicator that you just want one thing from a relationship, which is just sex. And listen, I'm even going to go further. It's probably why you'd want somebody younger in a relationship, because that is what you define as the most important thing. Sex. In whatever capacity you deem that to be acceptable or exciting. And in the past, it was blowjobs. Apparently now, it's something else. But from this basic example that you're suggesting, it's all just sex in easy access, like just whenever, loosey-goosey sex, and then what? What other, there's no other issues? Doesn't work that way. Sorry. This is more like a friends with benefits kind of thing. That would be indicative of that, but not a relationship.
Can you imagine oh my God. Anyways, fellas, are you with me here? God damn.
No. Sorry, not with you.
Sometimes it's just a little bit hard. I mean, I'm not really shocked. I'm just like numb. I'm just like, damn. I didn't direct this towards anybody else. I've gone on record saying to not call people who are actually gay that word.
It doesn't work that way. Just because you have one line in a video suggesting that you have, had this statement, doesn't mean that applies in every once you say it, okay, there's no context. Even if it's after the fact, even if you correct the fucking record, the damage is already done. And like you saying it to a homie, and that is being appropriate, what if that person is gay and you didn't know that? You called them that and they took it to mean something else. That is the reason why that term is not acceptable, because it has connotations that are so damn fucking negative. And it basically oppressed a group for a very long time up until recently, to the point where they couldn't get married. Relationships were frowned upon. People were fucking murdered because they were LGBTQA+. And now it's becoming more normal, thankfully. So they have to live in the fucking, shadows and get taken advantage of by other fucking married straight men that used to fucking sexually assault them because there was like fucking, all this. That's the future. If we're going to continue to be, down this with this Make America Great thing, is we're going to basically push all these people back in the shadows and they're going to get sexually assaulted and victimized again. Normalcy is supposed to create a healthy environment. That's the whole fucking point of this. The fact that you don't know that, or you're not going to acknowledge that, is either ignorance or malice.
Me just merely saying it got me banned for 7 days.
You should have been banned permanently because you're a third, fourth offender.
I have been called horrific shit. I have been falsely accused by
I am so certain that he wants Trump to get into this. He wants Asmongold to get into this. He wants to normalize this word. And if this word even remotely becomes normalized, I will make an hour-long video continuously talking about why this shouldn't be the case. Okay? And this is like me saying that, knowing that all this other shit exists in the world today and how bad it all is. Like, this is not even the thing that I should be holding firm against. But at the same time, like, come on. How many fucking things are we just going to allow just to happen again that we've basically moved past?
so many creators calling me a criminal.
Any of those people that are saying that, you can sue. You can potentially do a claim on Twitch to get them also banned for their accusations against you. But what you're leaving out here is that it's individually targeted towards you because somebody has a legitimate claim against you. A police report has been filed against you. And based on journalism and public, decorum standards, you're allowed to do that. That is acceptable. We can debate it. We can, and then if we do, good. Then the R word shouldn't be, not the RA word, the RE word shouldn't be allowed. All these things, of course. Let's come to some common decency. Of course, let's do it. Let's do it. But just so you know, unlike the F word and unlike the N word, if we never called or had the ability for whistleblowers to say people potentially RA or SA or any of these other things, then a lot of these people would not be charged. Whereas F word and the N word, what are we talking about here, Tectone? Hate for hate's sake. If you say the F word and you've said it 6 times or 7 times, all been bleeped, by the way, by YouTube, it indicates something far worse. It actually indicates, if I'm being honest, now that we're 38 minutes into this video and 9 minutes into your video, that you are potentially the worst kind of person. This kind of confirms a lot. It actually legitimizes a lot. Whereas before it was speculation, this might legitimize everything about you.
Things that the police have investigated me for. Things
Again, he's confirming the investigation.
that I've almost lost my life over being called. I don't think people understand that getting swatted
Victim, 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 victim.
is attempted murder. And I'm being banned again because I just spoke a word. You have Hassan calling Ela Klein a valid military target.
First of all, well, let's debate this. And I'm not going to go into this because I don't even want to get into this topic. I have PTSD from Israel, Gaza, all of this stuff. I just do. I served in the military. It's not something that I like to talk about going forward. But at the same time, whenever we're talking about war, if I'm not even going to try to make this or defend Hassan. Obviously, Hassan is not a great advocate, but he does at least know, and he has been banned previously, he does at least know the rules. And in war, military targets are considered fair game. They are. Uh, Gila, Gila is not in the military anymore. She does not work for the Israel Defense Force, but she used to. And if she was in the Israel Defense Force against this war, which is what it is, what Netanyahu, considers it as a war in Gaza, yeah, then military targets are valid. That is war. I'm not defending Hassan here, but this stretch, this attempt to get sympathy, both in saying that you've been swatted, been saying that it's this and that, saying that it's unfair because of Hassan, is all really just a fucking petty way to try to get your own fucking way so you can be racist and derogatory and demeaning and hateful and vitriolic. You pussy ass alpha trans bitch.
Inciting his audience to kill a streamer. Where Ethan and
It's not the same. But I'm not defending Hassan here.
Hila have to get their license to carry because now they feel unsafe for their lives.
Yeah, of course. And you have your own gun too. And this paranoia will continue to be infectious, just like it was, during Obama's presidency, where everybody was being threatened that they're going to take away your guns. So everybody bought more guns, and the NRA. And the answer is not more guns. It has nothing to do with that. It's mental health. It's literally knowing that, sure, anything could erupt into chaos and your life could be threatened. And having a gun is going to protect you to some degree, but it won't protect you if the eventuality ever came to be where there was this revolution or, all these people fighting against everybody else. Not enough bullets. And you don't have and most people don't have the skill to continuously deal with hordes of people that are just, in a certain state of mind. Regardless of that whole fucking mental thing is just, that's the issue in this country. It's not guns. It just isn't. And owning one is whatever, I guess. Owning what you have is fucking way different than owning a handgun in your house for defense. What you have is a military assault rifle, which is completely different than a handgun for protection.
He didn't even get a warning. Hassan has also called me a rapist. He didn't even get a warning. Guys, would you rather be called gay or someone falsely accuse you of being a rapist? Do people not get how dangerous this rhetoric is? Does Twitch staff
You need to shut the fuck up about rhetoric. Your whole channel is devoted to rhetoric, Tectone. That is your entire identity. It's rhetoric. That is damaging and hurtful and violent.
they truly this out of touch? What in the fuck are we doing? Well, I suppose I'll be streaming on YouTube and Kick for the foreseeable future. I genuinely, I'm just bitter, bro.
Yeah, you are definitely bitter, bro.
It's lame as shit. Like, genuinely, like, the blatant favoritism and the fucking hypocrisy of this platform, it astounds me. It genuinely fucking astounds me. I'm not shocked. If you're still here, please like, comment, subscribe on the channel. Don't.
No, I'm gonna not like. I have never subscribed. I'm gonna ensure that that button is deleted from my ability to do so.
Don't let these guys fucking win. Share this video with
It's the complete opposite. Don't let you win with your rhetoric.
your friends. Share a tweet. Jesus. Calling my ass homophobic. My dog's gay.
you are most likely homophobic. And you could be far worse than that.
And I love him very much.
You definitely don't love your dog. And so maybe that does imply that you are even more homophobic.
If you're still here, the tattoos that I'm getting is going to be a bonfire on my wrist.
And nobody gave a shit. Moving on. What's the end of this video?
My shoulder up here letting out a battle cry. That's my
Yeah,
Nuxus community, WestJet, the commentary community. Appreciate all y'all supporting my channel. We are having the best 4 months on my channel's history ever. We just broke 1 million. We just broke 1.1 million.
Just so you know, at the end of this video, you can buy subscribers on YouTube. You spend a little bit of money and you can get subscribers nowadays. All right. Having 1.1 million is not an accomplishment. You can literally buy that.
And trajectory's looking good, so we got motion. And that feels good. I look forward to seeing how you guys feel about this. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think you're hoping that the F word is going to become normal again. And again, if that's your goal, that speaks to the deep-rooted, the worst possible elements of humanity, which you would possess if that's what your aim is for, to get F word. You know what? And if that is, listen, if this video is actually sincere, then you need to start saying the N word too. You need to start saying both. My name is Bazookas. This is the first video for today. There will be 4 more. 4 more. Bye for now.